When we think of war movies, we usually picture two things: massive explosions and one-liners from our favorite heroes. But this scene from Brothers in Arms gives us something different. It pulls back the curtain on a grim reality. Sergeant Jacob leads a squad of US soldiers in Afghanistan. They're nearing the end of their tour, so maybe they've gotten a bit complacent. But when an IED blast rocks their outpost, everything changes. As dust clears and screams fade away, Jacob notices that one of his men, Weston, is missing. And then there's Private First Class Hickman, bleeding and holding his shattered kneecap. As the soldiers try to piece together what happened, Jacob knows he needs to take charge. And while one soldier, Barnes, tries to contact their medic, another man starts to panic. His instincts kick in and he grabs a gun. After all, if their outpost was compromised, they could still be in danger. Suddenly, Jacob notices someone approaching through the smoke and debris. At first it looks like another hostile combatant, but as she gets closer, it's clear that it's just a woman. She's carrying a basket and doesn't seem to have noticed the carnage around her. With a mix of relief and skepticism, Jacob radios for a translator. As the woman comes closer, he yells out, "Hey, lady, hold it right there, don't move." The woman freezes, then slowly raises her hands to show that she's unarmed. Jacob, still suspicious, tells the soldier to point his rifle at her and barks orders at her to come closer so they can talk. As she approaches, Jacob motions for the soldier to keep the barrel pointed at her head. Once she's close enough, Jacob asks her questions through the radio, but the only response he gets is a sad shake of her head. The woman takes a step back, drops her basket and runs towards the injured man. Although Jacob is skeptical, another soldier, Weston, wants to help her. He says, "I don't care if she's a threat or not. Somebody needs to help him." Weston walks towards the injured man while keeping an eye on the woman. Jacob doesn't stop him, but he also doesn't offer any assistance. Moments later, Weston turns back to the group, holding a little girl in his arms. She's crying and kneeling next to the man, seemingly unaffected by the events around her. Weston announces, "There's a little girl inside." The others remain cautious, though, refusing to believe that the situation has changed. Jacob argues against helping them, saying, "She's part of the enemy. We don't save the enemy." The soldiers debate what to do, with some wanting to leave and others wanting to help. Ultimately, Jacob issues an order. He decides to stick with his original plan. While one soldier keeps watch, the others set up a perimeter around the injured men. As they work, Jacob goes back to the woman, motioning for her to follow him. He asks her where the girl's father is and where they were going, but she doesn't respond. One of the soldiers completes the perimeter and Jacob radios for medical support. With the area secured, Jacob returns to the woman and asks her again where the father is. Again, she shakes her head and points to the ground. Frustrated, Jacob throws the radio back down. After a few moments, Weston approaches Jacob, asking if he should go get the girl. Jacob replies, "No, I'm gonna go get her myself." He moves towards the little girl, who remains kneeling next to her injured father. Without warning, a loud noise echoes through the air. Both Jacob and the little girl jump up, startled by the sound. She clings onto Jacob as tears stream down her face. Meanwhile, Barnes is still on the phone with their commanding officer. He explains the situation and asks permission to stay and provide medical aid. However, their lieutenant interrupts the conversation, indicating that they're ordered to leave the base immediately. Barnes informs Jacob, "Sir, they want us to forget about the civilians. We need to get the fuck out of here." Jacob, torn between his orders and his desire to help, responds, "Copy that." He then looks back at the girl and whispers, "Hold still." He radios for a hand signal and tells the little girl, "It's okay. Daddy's just sleeping." Jacob rushes to the Humvee to check on Weston, who's tending to the wounded. He asks if they have enough supplies to help both Weston and the man. Weston replies, "We got 2 sets of everything, right?" Jacob assures him they'll be fine. He then turns to Barnes and instructs him to prepare a litter for the girl's father. Jacob runs back to the little girl, comforts her and tells her that everything will be all right. As the soldiers work to evacuate the civilians, the lieutenant arrives at the scene. He demands to know why they're wasting time and resources on the civilians. According to him, their mission is to rescue their comrades, not play medics. Jacob calmly replies, "We're getting them ready for extraction." He tells the lieutenant about the girl's father, explaining that he was wounded in the attack. Jacob asks the lieutenant to confirm that their orders are to leave without providing medical aid. The lieutenant clarifies that they're supposed to secure the perimeter, extract their people, and kill anyone who gets too close. He emphasizes that their priority is rescuing Barnes and the others. Frustrated, Jacob retorts, "So I guess you want us to run back into that and leave these guys to die." The lieutenant insists that they should focus on the soldiers rather than risking their lives for civilians. In a last-ditch effort, Jacob asks for confirmation that they're not supposed to save these people. The lieutenant clarifies, "Leave them behind. Nobody said we're supposed to save them." Jacob acknowledges the order, stating, "Roger," that, with a mix of determination and despair. He tells Weston, "Let's get her out of here." He directs the others to load the civilians onto the Humvee and get ready to depart. However, before they can leave, another explosion erupts. Jacob instantly drops to the ground. As the dust settles, it becomes clear that he's been injured. The soldiers rush to his side and help him onto a stretcher. Barnes, speaking into the radio, reports that they have another casualty. The Humvee driver responds, "Copy that, I'm almost there." As they prepare to evacuate, Weston asks if Jacob wants him to drive, but Jacob shakes his head. With his vision blurry and his strength fading, Jacob mumbles, Tell Annie, I love her." The soldiers struggle to lift the stretcher into the Humvee. Finally, it's loaded and they speed off towards safety. This scene is a harsh reminder of the complexities of war. It's not just about battles and victories. It's about the tough decisions we make in the face of adversity. Being a good leader isn't always about being respected or even liked. Sometimes it means making unpopular choices for the greater good. Jacob's decision to help the Afghan civilians may have gone against his orders, but it reflects his humanity. War can turn people into machines, losing sight of their compassion and empathy. But Jacob reminds us that true strength comes from balancing duty with humanity. If you found this analysis insightful, hit the like button and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Let's continue the discussion in the comments. What do you think about Sergeant Jacob's actions? How would you handle such a tough situation?